Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. Hope you're all doing well, hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk about Warhammer Age of Sigmar as we have another Skaven Warscroll come out from the upcoming Skaven and Sylvaneth box set. And today it's the Screaming Bell Warscroll, which I think is going to be one of the most interesting Warscrolls we see from it. It's changed quite a bit, there's a lot of little niche sort of changes on it. So today we're going to have a breakdown, take a look at the Warscroll, talk a bit about it, talk about what it can mean. As always with these Warscrolls, it's always worth mentioning that things do change between these Warscrolls and the battle tome. It is a constant thing. They don't always change, certainly, but there is always the chance that something will change with these, so keep that in mind. This is very much a first look at the Warscroll, and probably something that it was initially like a first draft of the Warscroll. So it may see changes, it may not, during the playtesting cycle from Games Workshop. With that all said, let's get cracking on though, and let's check out the Warscroll and chat about it. And so here we have the Gracie on Screaming Bell Warscroll. So it has got quite a few changes on the current Warscroll that we see for the Gracie on Screaming Bell, and we'll go through talking about where all those changes are. So with that said, let's take a look at its stat block to begin with. First of all, it's gained an extra 2 wounds. It's now 15 instead of 13 wounds. It does have movement based on how damaged it is, which can be from 6 inch all the way down to 3 inch. Rusty spikes have changed. You now get less attacks on your rusty spikes. There is no sort of doubling them. You now have a set amount of attacks on your rusty spikes now, which is a little bit, I guess, not as cool. I did like where we got like random attacks and stuff like that. I said this in the last Warscroll. I do miss randomness to a degree. Like D6 damage, I agree, is a little bit maybe too random. 3 plus D3 is fun though. There's less dice rolling in stuff like this, and for me, it's a dice game. I want to roll dice. I like that we've got damage D3 on here, which is really, really cool. I like that a lot, but yeah, rusty spikes not being like D6 or 2D6 if they charge is a little bit meh. They're not going to do an awful lot anyway. You know, they are 3-3 standard now. And the attacks degrade rather than the hit roll degrading, so that's a little bit of a change. But other than that, yeah. We then have the Avalanche of Energy, which is an ability. This gets some changes to it. Tearing Claws and Fangs, which are going to be interesting. They stay the same. They actually stay the same at 4s and 3s, Ren 1 damage 2, so that's maybe a look at what Rat Ogres will be. A look at 4s and 3s, Ren 1 damage 2 still. Which is maybe a little bit disappointing on Rat Ogres. Maybe we wanted them to go to Ren 2. Damage D3 on Rat Ogres could have been really cool for some nice spiking sort of damage. Now we go over to the rules now. So he's a wizard, and he's a 1 cast and 1 unbind, which I do feel if any Skaven wizard was going to keep the 2 cast, it should have been the Grey Seer. Like, he is supposed to be this all-powerful sort of rat caster. So him dropping a cast is certainly interesting. It just goes into the mount and crew, treated as mounts, etc. They can't have the artifacts. Pushed into battle is still 10 models within 6 inch of it to push it into battle. I hope the Daughters of Cain do get this rule. It makes no sense that the Daughters of Cain chariots magically move, but the Skaven ones don't. So I think the Daughters of Cain should definitely have this rule come to their army. Ultra of the Horned Rat. The model has a 5-up in mortal wound save, a 5-up ward, which it has always had. And then it's now lost the Battle Shock immunity around it as well. So where instead of Battle Shock immunity now, it provides the ability for you to swap Wizard to Priest. Which is interesting. It'll be really interesting. I think there's a lot of things you can say about that without seeing in context, but even like just being able to put Bless on a unit that really needs it during a turn is really worthwhile, or even being able to use Smite at a much longer range than Arcane Bolt to take out an enemy priest is nice as well. And then we've got the Avalanche of Energy, where we add the Avalanche of Energy value on this damage table to casting and chanting rolls. So at max we get +2 to cast, +1 chanting, which is pretty cool. And we've got +1 casting all the way until we're like 13 plus wounds taken, which is pretty cool. Now, Stirring Beyond the Veil, this is pretty much the Vermin Lord summoning that we used to be able to do from the Peel of Doom. And we'll talk about that in a second, but this is now changed. It's no longer on the Peel of Doom table. So once per battle at the start of the hero phase, if 7 or more wounds are allocated to this unit, you can say the Grey Seal will shatter the Screaming Bell. If you do so, you roll a dice. On a 1, the unit's simply destroyed. On any other roll, add the number of wounds allocated to this unit to the roll. If the modified roll is 12 or less, the Screaming Bell is shattered. See below. And if the modified roll is 13 or more, the Screaming Bell is shattered, and you can summon a Vermin Lord and add it to your army. The Vermin Lord must be set up within 13 inches of this unit. It can be set up within 3 inches of an enemy unit. If the unit is within 3 inches of an enemy unit, otherwise it must be set up more than 9 inches from all enemy units. So if you're in combat, you can set it up in combat. It can no longer attempt to cast Crack's Call or use the Peel of Doom if the bell is shattered. Cool. Crack's Call, casting value of 6, range of 13. You roll 2d6 above the movement characteristic, and you do amount of mortal wounds equal to the difference. Can't affect units with fly. Peel of Doom has changed. We've got a much smaller table for the Peel of Doom than we used to. But I think we've got one less effect. But the effect taken out is Staring Beyond the Veil, which is now just a rule for the model. So we can either do D3 mortal wounds to ourselves, and how it sort of works is at the start of your hero phase, you say the bell will ring. You roll the dice and look up the result. So it's just a single D6 now. So Magical Backlash, you take D3 mortal wounds on a 1. Unholy Clamour, add 6 to this unit's move. Wall of Unholy Sound, until the next hero phase, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by enemy units that within 13 inch. Deafening Peal, you roll a dice each time an enemy model is picked to issue a command within 13 inch of the Screaming Bell rolled, and on a 5+, command can't be used. Screaming Crescendo, 2+, do d6 mortal wounds to an enemy unit that makes a charge move. And then at the end of the hero phase, you can do some mortal wounds as well from Apocalyptic Doom. Now, the interesting thing with this, because it is 1d6, there is so much more potential for you to roll that 1 and do d3 mortal wounds to yourself with this model now. There's also, obviously, much higher chance of getting all the rest. Now, it's not 2d6, but I think the potential of it doing damage to itself a lot easier is not the greatest. There are a few things I hope change. I hope it goes back to a 2-cast wizard. I don't mind the Staring Beyond the Veil. Being able to roll a 1 on 1 dice is not nice, though. You know, a 1 in 6 chance you just lose your bell. But then again, if your bell is that badly damaged and probably in harm's way at that point, it's probably just worth trying to make the attempt to get a Vermin on the table as well and cause some problems. The fact it doesn't provide Battleshock immunity, I think, is massive to it now. That was a big thing, but we have seen Battleshock immunity disappearing, so it'll be interesting to see where that sort of goes for the Skaven. For me, it's definitely the Deafening Peals. You're wanting to roll that 4+ nearly all the time to stop commands happening within 13 inch of it, which is a big range. But what do you all think of the new Screaming Bell Warscroll? Let us know down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment down below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the video's description to our Discord server. And if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by Patreon or YouTube members, or going to our Ko-fi store and purchasing some dice or some other merch we've got on there, all of which are linked down in the description of the video as well. Lastly, as a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So, a shout out to our Patreons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Dynet226, and Derek. And a special shout out as well to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Sean Scott, Pink Nico Fire, and Robin Mankiller. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Wixfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and to Xmorphic, who does amazing work and has helped us greatly in getting the Discord server set up. Thank you all for watching once again, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.